They've been drilling for just a couple of months. The chances of finding anything were put at just 1 in 10. But it seems this new frontier of offshore exploration is delivering already. Not oil yet, but signs of it. And never mind that this is 300 kilometres north of the Arctic Circle, up there with the most remote corners of the planet. This isn't too far for the energy companies or the protesters.
Greenpeace is here today in the Arctic Ocean, protesting against Cairn Energy's drilling here in the Arctic. If Cairn finds oil here, then all the big companies will be coming to the end of the earth to explore for more oil. Greenpeace is calling on them to instead go beyond oil, to start investing in clean, green, renewable energy, and we're calling on government to make that happen.
From their ship Esperanza, Layla and her Greenpeace team are watching the drilling, a peaceful protest, they say. But watching them, the Danish Navy, patrolling an exclusion zone. The controversy is obvious. Imagine the Gulf of Mexico disaster here. In these cold waters, oil would not disperse as it has done off Florida. Cairn Energy, though, insist safety is at the top of their list. They've spent 3 years planning for this. They're even moving the icebergs. Look at the cable at the bottom right of this one.
We had to go through a very complicated and challenging regulatory approval process in order to be able to drill. We're using 2 rigs, we're using a fleet of 14 support vessels, and we work in close cooperation with the Greenlanders, so it's very much a joint approach.
They're here too at the invitation of the Greenland government. At the moment, this is Greenland's only real revenue. It could do with the oil, and, say analysts, so could we all.
In terms of reserves, very few countries, other than the Middle East, other than Saudi Arabia, for instance, have that kind of reserves you're talking about. I mean, 90 billion barrels is a huge reserve. Say, for instance, the Brazilian find was 5 billion barrels, and a lot of people are making a lot of noise about that. 90 billion barrels, if recoverable, and that's the big if, because infrastructure is a big constraint in these kinds of areas, can clearly alter the shape of the oil supplies in the oil market.
But only if the hydrocarbons they've found translate into oil. Both sides could be here for some time. Mark Stone, Sky News.